Greetings from Southern Alabama and welcome to the channel. My name is Killjoy3130 and in today's video we will be going over a Monster Hunter World video. In this video we'll be breaking down some good tactics and strategies to use while utilizing the sword and shield, my main weapon and the main weapon of just a few other people out there. It's widely frowned upon as a beginner's weapon, but if you know how to use it, it can be a real asset to your team and a real detriment to the monster that you're hunting. So, without further ado, let's dive into why the sword and shield is one of the best weapons in the game. So I'm just going to chime in here and say that this is an older video, so you're going to see me using mismatched and low rank equipment. This is still a good video for showing good tactics and strategies to be using for the sword and shield, because at this point in time I actually do know how to use the weapon. So
I've done that to people to derail their joke. Like they say I have a great knock knock joke, and they're like, okay. And they said knock knock. I say come in. Oh, all right. Right off the bat, send it.
I'm gonna wait till they kick this paratoad.
I would ask him.
So the most important attack that you have with the sword and shield is one you just saw me use, that lunging attack. What it does is it closes the distance very quickly and allows you to get behind the monster's hitboxes and get inside and get you dealing damage to the monster as quickly as possible. You also have to be careful when you do that, because you also saw me get my ass handed to me right after. So you have to watch the monster and be careful when you do it and how you do it, and honestly where, because depending on the location of where you end up after that lunge, you're putting yourself directly into the line of fire. So it's something to consider every time that you close a distance like that.
You touched me? Stop hitting me!
It's not me!
Oh,
Save some for us.
Yeah, it came at me.
Whee!
If only you could recover stamina just by holding on.
That would be
Oh,
nice.
hold on.
Although dash juice would probably help with that.
Oh, I don't have any rations.
Hey, what's up, everyone? We are back for more Monster Hunter Ice Sword coverage. But yes,
Fireworks!
Baby, you're a thought. Oh crap.
anyway, please here with us today. I
Yippee-ki-yay.
know you play a lot of Monster Hunter.
And oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so what you want to do is avoid exactly what happened right there. I drank a potion while sitting directly in front of that monster, which is a foolhardy endeavor. And we also have somebody who's running support in the party. Now, with that being said, sword and shield is honestly the best weapon to run support with. And at this stage in the game, I didn't have any armor or charms for wide effect, so I could not adequately run support. I was also very new to the game and had a limited amount of items. Nowadays, I run support a lot more often, but it's also something to consider with the sword and shield, that you are one of the best options for support to your team. So use it.
Whoa! Whee! You.
I jumped
There it is.
off of something.
Attack the wings.
Okay, so think of this like a relationship. What is the biggest problem when it comes to relationships? People don't communicate. And when hunts go sideways, 9 times out of 10, that's also the reason. Lack of communication. Now, you heard me doing call-outs saying, hey, attack the wings, because I needed a particular item. But it goes for any monster you're fighting, especially something like Nergigante, where if you don't see him jump up to do the Superman dive, you are hosed unless you're wearing a temporal mantle.
Who calls it a swax?
Wax.
Swax. It's foot swax. Like what?
yes, and weapon. Yes.
Oh,
My favorite weapon. Oh, hello.
Rathalos.
Hello,
Hi.
Rathalos.
Oh yeah.
Round 2.
And here we are dealing with our primary target, the Rathalos. He just dropped in on us and started screaming and complaining that, you've been beating up my wife. So we said, screw you. We're going to beat you up too. Now, it's worth noting that in this game, anything can happen. Anything. In previous Monster Hunter titles, if a monster was not listed it wasn't going to show up unless it was a Devil Joe. In this game, you can be fighting a Rathalos, and then you'll have a Rathian pop in, or you'll have a Rathian and a Legiana pop in, or in a very extreme case, I was fighting a Legiana, and both a Devil Joe and a Basilicious jumped in. So it's something to just always be ready for, the probability of something like that happening, where you have shit just going completely sideways on you, two broken, powerful monsters popping in, and just being ready for whatever's coming at you.
Code red, but
It's gonna do a fireball.
And I'm on fire!
if you had the areas, they work just faster than just rolling around and stuff. Or you could just roll the water.
Man,
There goes
that didn't
the
take long.
tail.
That didn't take long at
Trying to
all.
break its wings. Hey.
Okay, so when people think Sword and Shield, they think, oh, it's staying on the ground, etc., block, shimmy, jump, guard, things, attack. But one of the things that's actually really good for in this game is dealing aerial damage. It is very easy to get a mount in this game with the Sword and Shield. Now, you look right here. This is a very stupid thing. I was feeling very froggy. Not a good idea, because you can easily get your ass handed to you, especially with how little health I had at that point in time. So, don't be that ballsy unless you can back it up.
Oh, fuck me. I'm poisoned.
Oh, boogity. We said it. There's just absolute chaos, and I am loving it. Psych.
Oh, it gets better though. There's Basilicious, there's Rodabon and Rollabon. Not Rodabon. Forget the other one. Oregon, yeah.
Just let me sharpen. Let me sharpen.
I would say that this hero is the epitome of getting lucky, but anybody who's gotten laid would disagree. But with that being said, things like that can happen, but they don't usually. So always be aware of your surroundings when it comes to sharpening your weapon, especially. If you don't have a grinder jewel or any kind of speeding up sharpening abilities, always be aware of your surroundings and what the monsters are doing.
That's why I'm running around.
Son of a... Are you okay now? There we go. Are his wings broken yet? Okay, the one wing is.
They look
Go
broken.
Go for his left wing.
There it goes.
His left wing is gone too? Cool.
Yep.
Alright, is Rathian still in the area?
Yep.
So I was just talking to y'all about being aware of your surroundings and all that fun jazz. Meanwhile, I completely failed at that. Right now, there's a third monster in play that I didn't even realize was here, and that is the Anjanath. And he ran me over twice, and at that point in time, I still had no idea that they were there. Rather, he was there. I was so focused on fighting Rathalos and Rathian that Anjanath just didn't even occur to me as a problem. And then I see him there. Actually, no, I didn't even see him at that point. It's only when he turns around and says, haha, fuck you, that, yes, I do in fact see him at that point, and I'm conscious of the fact that I'm now dealing with a monster that is just widely regarded as one of the biggest pains in the ass in the game, besides basic use.
Imagine that. What the hell? You freaking headbanged me.
Yeah, he loves me.
Okay, so if you're running support, watch your teammates' health bars. Okay, that is absolutely critical. As a Sword and Shield, you are the person who is most able to quickly give back health to the team. And to be that team player and help people out, buff people if they need it, give people health if they need it, stamina, whatever. Okay. In addition, something that you may or may not have noticed already, but I'm attacking as often as I possibly can, and I'm not playing cautiously at all, getting like 1 or 2 hits in and then getting the hell out of dodge. Once I'm in there, I'm attacking as often as I can, and that's because of the low numbers that the Sword and Shield has. So everything's got a trade-off. This thing hits rather quickly, second only to the dual blades in terms of speed, which allows it to keep its DPS up. But with that, each of your hits is weaker, so you cannot play a careful play style like you would with a great sword or a long sword or, say, a hunting horn. You need to get in and attack fast.
Easy to the party because it's only private and I can always suggest them, but he's away right now.
He just sent me a message. I can try to invite him.
What do you think about the new?
I thought this was my... No, it's Cosmics.
Oh, stupid Raytheon, where are you going?
What, Raytheon?
Rathalos.
Raytheon's not
yeah.
going anywhere. She's decomposing.
Oh, I get those two mixed up sometimes, all the time. He's probably going to his nest.
Yeah, you want to
Swear.
get your hot drink?
Freaking God.
We get hot pepper.
Alright.
Okay, let's...
Oh, if you blow up the barrier. Hey! Hi!
Let me in. And going for a swim.
My ears.
Guys are asking, we're all ready to go on hunt?
Okay, we're ready.
That one girl is way too enthusiastic. She's like super enthusiastic and she barely has any idea what she's talking about.
Oh, he's ready.
I'm beating the shit out of you there, Rathalos.
I'm incoming.
My ears! No fireball. Ow.
Fireball.
Oh yeah?
Oh, am I mentioning he's pissed? That could have been part of the conversation when, hey, Solomon, you're coming up in here. He's annoyed. Damn it. Fireball. And shield bash.
I love this Tinker Pod. Make some more.
Maximum effort.
Something else to remember with the sword and shield is that you can use your slinger also with your weapon unsheathed. So you should always have flash bombs equipped as long as you aren't using it on Lunastra and everybody's right next to her. Do not do that. Your team will hate you. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't try it. Please. Please don't try it.
No. Oh shit. Once it got ya.
Thank you.
And this too.
You are literally the best. I'm going to sharpen right quick and then I will join you.
He's going to his nest, so guess what I'm gonna do to it? I'm gonna blow it up.
Maximum send.
So when she said, I'm going to blow it up, I had no idea what the hell she was talking about because I hadn't even thought about using the environment to my advantage. Okay, so in prior games, there was no such thing as, dropping boulders on monsters, having vine traps within the environment that can restrain monsters and allow you to deal more damage. These things didn't exist. But in this game, that is something that is very useful and in many cases very important for you to use. Utilize your environment.
Hold on.
I have flash pods equipped too, so.
Put this here. Put this here. And then what I'll do, stand aside. Go like this. Shoot.
Just gonna stand back.
I love it.
You can find stuff like this in every map in this game. The Ancient Forest has a couple that I know of. I mean, there's vine traps, but there's also a boulder drop thing, and there's that. And this deals a shit ton of damage. No joke, alright? So, barrel bombs at the Area 17 nest thing, yeah, definitely use that when the monster's asleep.
Nope, you're not roaring. You're mine.
Wherefore art thou?
I guess we'll go for a ride. Where are we going? What the hell?
Alright. Shoot.
Alright.
Okay.
And this is how to train your dragon. Alright, coming down.
Come get some drugs. Alright. Well, that was
All right.
interesting.
Raytheon's just an extra.
That's the truth.
And that's about all, folks. I really hope that you guys learned something both about hunting in general and hunting with a sword and shield. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them to the best of my ability. Of course, you also have Google at your disposal. There are plenty of forums on Facebook to ask questions, and the people in the Monster Hunter community are generally very helpful, so feel free to pose your questions out there too. In the meantime, stay safe, take care, and I will see you next time.
All goods. Alright, probably gonna make a new party so AJ can join. Because I don't know when he's gonna be coming back.